what's going on, friends, family? My name's Skylent, and today's rambly rant video is about the new graphics update with ArcheAge. That's where it's kind of more of like a pre-impressions of the new ArcheAge, but it's also sort of meta-analysis, I guess, of our community of the, I guess, the way games promote themselves. And I'm gonna try to kind of say some words and digest and divulge, I guess, probably the accuracies of what's really going to happen with ArcheAge. And I'm going to try to do this through comparing and contrasting with a popular game, well, not popular, but infamous game that recently released here called Bless. So I'm going to be comparing the sort of campaigns between these two games, which I was involved with very heavily, so I would know. And I just want to immediately start out by saying that I'm actually Team ArcheAge. I plan to purchase the game. I want to play it. Want to do it. If they give me a paid promotion, I will take all of them, probably. I'm that excited. I'm very excited to see this new ArcheAge. And the thing is, guys, is if this succeeds, that's obviously going to be telling people something. You know, it's going to be telling publishers and developers something probably very good. I hope so. And I'm really liking the trend of classic servers. I'm really liking the trend of removing pay-to-win mechanics when people ask for it. I just wish they weren't in it at all. And it seems that MMO developers are maybe getting the idea that listening to your community, which is, you know, they are the game, listening to them might be kind of big, might be kind of important. Of course, developers, they want to make money, publishers want to make money. So they listen to their community in one way. They look at the numbers. What are the whales buying? What's everyone spending money on? How can they make the most amount of money? So the thing is, guys, is we kind of need this to work out. And I think it will. I want to believe that it will. It's a boxed copy of a game. I don't know if it's going to last, but it'll probably be fun for a little bit. But if it does last, if people continuously jump into this game and play it and hemorrhage from the pay-to-win versions of the game and come from other MMOs and try out ArcheAge, man, it could be a renaissance for the genre. And I feel like we're kind of there. We're coming back to our basics and we're trying this all over again. You know, MMOs can be great again. Maybe, possibly. But anyways, so this is exciting for me, ArcheAge, because the updates and the way that they're showing the game seems like they're being very sincere. Now, I'm not going to watch all the little developer talks, but I am going to watch the outward, big trailers, the ones that they really want to push and promote, such as the graphics update. So watching some reaction videos from such as Cry, who's played ArcheAge before, and then seeing his enthusiasm for the new updates, the new graphics, was really refreshing. Though I have to admit, Cry tends to be a little bit more on the sugary side. And of course he wants to be positive because he wants people to be excited about the new content that he's about to drip feed everyone. And you know what? I gotta be I'm the same way. The only reason I'm making this video is to kind of prepare you guys for the content that I'm going to make. That's gonna happen a lot. So we gotta be wary of that. The game developers themselves, they're doing these sort of trailers and things to get us excited for the game. Obviously, it's promotions. It's really just a marketing thing, sure. But I have to say, when you look at the graphics update, it's like they're changing things that they kind of didn't need to change them. They're adding so much to the game in terms of aesthetics, changing the aesthetic to be much more colorful, and they're not just changing textures or little lighting effects, which is kind of what we saw with Black Desert Online. It's really a graphics overhaul. It's kind of like what you would see in between expansions of MMOs, and that alone, that effort, the amount of effort and the amount of minute detail that they're actually going into changing, such as the directionals of the hit effects, like the slashes, how they now will match the actual animations. I think really, really small details, they matter, but I mean, they didn't have to, and I don't think anybody expected that. Did anybody watch that trailer and expected that level of detail to be enhanced with the graphics and to have such a macro color change? And I don't know. I really feel like ArcheAge is now going to be able to keep up with the times. It did look a little bit dated in some ways when it first launched even, but of course that's the nature of the game. It was a big MMO and you could do so much in it, and mixing and matching of class abilities, and yeah, but now the game looks, I'm thinking right proper. I'm thinking it's looking more like a 2019 MMO. I'm thinking this actually has a really good chance of succeeding based on the way it looks. I mean, just kind of reacting on the enhanced graphics. I'm very, very excited because of that mainly. It's really what's making me make this video. There's not too many other trailers. There's not too much information that's really been divulged. So for the most part, it's still going to be ArcheAge. It is a re-release of ArcheAge, and it's probably going to look better. But there is some worry. What if all of this? What if all of this is just kind of for advertisement? So what if all of these graphical changes makes the game run like absolute dookie? So at that point, it's just like, well, they made it look a certain way to advertise it, but now the game just absolutely doesn't run. So hey, they got our boxed copy money. They got, what is it, $25 or whatever? They got our money, and that's pretty much it. And that's what I'm worried about. When you have a game that has a subscription or a cash shop or however you're selling a game, it incentivizes developers to develop a certain way because they want to make the most amount of money. And I'm afraid the way that these guys are going to make the most amount of money is to kind of sell us a lie. And then, they get the boxed money and they switch it to free to play and make it pay to win. And I'm sure a lot of us are worried about that. So let's go ahead and compare it and contrast it with a game called Bless. So Bless Online also was going to have some graphical updates. They were also going to change some mechanics and things. And you know what? It was to the point that it was so deceptive that they actually invited a bunch of YouTubers out to San Francisco. And, actually, that was an amazing time. That was one of the best couple nights of my life. I have to be honest. It was really, really fun hanging out with all you guys. It was so cool. And the game itself was actually pretty fun, when you got to play the dungeons. They had set up dungeon groups. We were all doing first-time dungeons, and it was a cool experience. That very, very specific vertical slice experience. We just assumed that the rest of the MMO would just work and be good. At least those of us who didn't play the original Bless. So it's very easy, I think, to be persuaded one way or the other, even when you literally can play the game. If you play specific vertical slices, it's easy to be deceptive. So, looking at the advertisement and the promotions of Bless and how that was done, I have to say that I want to be hyped for ArcheAge, but I'm still on the fence. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it just like I did Bless. But the thing is, like with Bless, you can look at all the things that they did, and it seemed, they so often were like, no pay to win. We're going to have a fair cash shop, and then they had a shitty cash shop. We're going to make this game right. It was like their third time trying. So you're like, okay, well, this must be like, okay, the real attempt. This must be the for once, right? Like you can't just shit out another game, can you? They were changing the mechanics of the fighting so that it was supposed to be more action combat oriented and combo based. They were trying things that seemed like they were listening to player feedback. So ArcheAge also is seemingly trying to do that, but there is a big difference though. There is a big difference that we'll end cap the video on. Bless Online was doing, I think, things that were, they did listen to their community, but to a point it's really just advertising points. And here we're looking at ArcheAge, and I think they're doing things that we didn't even expect them to go through with fully. Like, yeah, okay, you're going to do a boxed copy, and supposedly it's not going to be pay to win. Okay, cool. But that could just be, an advertising point that they later change on or whatever. That could actually ruin the game in ways from that. It could be just a money grab. Who knows? But from everything else that's been promoted, I don't know. I mean, the graphics thing, it could be. It could be, but to the depth, to the little details that they're actually making the game more expressive. I really think that they're trying to appeal to a wider audience, trying to get a lot more players, and I think they know that. I mean, they probably read the comments, where in every forum ever, basically, when you talk about how MMOs suck right now, basically everyone will say, well, BDO had a shot, it's a gorgeous game, but you know what? That ArcheAge, that could have been the one. Yeah, if there was any modern MMO that could have dethroned WoW, it could have been ArcheAge. ArcheAge had some serious potential. And a lot of people really feel that way. And of course, the biggest complaint was pay to win. So making it not pay to win, giving it a graphics update, but then so sincerely diving into that and it seems like they're really polishing this game up to 2019 standards. Man, dude, I can't help but get kind of behind the hype train that it makes me excited again. Of course, it could all be lies, smoke and mirrors. It could be Bless Online was also doing some cool things, but that in the end, was one thing. That game already failed multiple times. And the thing is ArcheAge, despite being pay to win and launching multiple times and having multiple expansions that people complain about and things, it's still a game that people really play. And despite the pay to win, not just because of it, though some people do play pay to win games for the fact that they are pay to win, but it's just it's pretty wild that ArcheAge has succeeded. It is a success of a game. It just wasn't the success we knew it could be, and this version seems like that's the version we dreamed of. Like, even if it doesn't last forever, this first season of ArcheAge might be some of the best MMO content we have ever played. So, whether I believe in it or not kind of doesn't matter. I think the fact remains is that evidence suggests, because of fresh start servers on ArcheAge and, the launch of ArcheAge, and if you played the beta. So I think we know, even ArcheAge at its worst is still something really intriguing. So if it's just a bare minimum re-release without pay to win for a season, that's still gonna be a pretty decent time. But with these enhancements and with the apparent sincerity from the developers, we have a good shot at having a great time. That's all I gotta say. I'm really impressed with that enhancement, the graphical enhancement trailer. If you notice, it should be clear, but they're actually adding in new geometry. They're actually changing the art style and really making it more evocative. Like it seems much more apparent that they're trying to appeal to a wider audience. It's a little bit more anime or animated and kind of bubbly, I guess. It looks probably a little bit more clean, and I think overall, man, it's a little bit impressive. Yeah, no, it's not as impressive as BDO in terms of fidelity, but in terms of like an art style and making things more clean and cohesive, I think so. And it's definitely a bigger attempt than just adding in more post-processing like BDO's graphical enhancement update did. So this is definitely a step up, and it seems kind of real. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. I know you guys have supported me on Patreon. That's enough money to actually buy the game, so I'm going to buy into it. Thank you guys so much for supporting, and I'm going to be streaming it over at twitch.tv/Skylent. So let me know how you guys feel about that, all these announcements, and this game. Are you going to join me? And if so, I guess we should make a clan and go pirating around. So let's go ahead and do that. That's my rant on ArcheAge. I might do some more videos on it. Let me know what you think, because the channel is basically controlled by my fans. Can only do content that you guys want. So let's figure it out. Much love. See you in the next one.